What's up everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Junior Fire, ex-professional boxer. First off, sorry for being so close to the camera. I don't have my microphone. I've lost it somewhere, so hence why I'm trying to speak closer to the phone so that you guys can hear me a lot better. Anyway, so we just got news that Joseph Parker versus Fabio Wardley will be in October. What's the actual date? This date right here. So my first initial thoughts was great, because I wanted Joseph Parker to fight someone. You know, the bro hasn't fought in a while. He should be fighting Usyk, but that's such a huge fight. I would have loved him to fight someone else first. Now he is fighting someone else before he could potentially fight Usyk. Because before this fight, we were talking about how he should be fighting Usyk next. I was for that, although I knew that he needed a fight before the big fight. Because he hasn't fought in so long, he needs a tune-up just to keep things sharp, just to shake off a bit of ring rust, because it's been a while since he's been in the ring. Last time he was in it, he knocked out the guy in the second round, being Martin Piccoli. Joseph Parker versus Fabio Wardley. Some people are riding Parker just a bit too much on this one, only because they saw Fabio Wardley's last fight against Justice Honey, and people were saying that Justice Honey's not as good as Joseph Parker, so Joseph Parker is gonna go through Fabio Wardley. Not the case. My personal opinion is that Fabio Wardley was very lucky against Justice Honey. Justice Honey is probably one of the most slickest technical heavyweights out there right now. He's a very good boxer, as we saw in the fight against Fabio Wardley. Joseph Parker is not like Justice Honey. Joseph Parker is his feet are a bit slower and a bit less explosive than Justice Honey. Justice Honey is a huge talent. He's a huge talent. He got caught, you know? He got caught, not by a lucky shot. Some people were saying that Fabio Wardley was very lucky. Even I was saying that. But reviewing back the tapes, he actually planned that. Him and his coach were going through that particular punch because of how Justice Honey likes to slip on the inside. They knew that his face was going to be there, so they threw the right in a particular way, and it landed for them. So lucky punch? No. But Justice Honey did get to display his skills, and he got to expose Fabio Wardley a bit more. Although we're not too surprised at Fabio Wardley's skill set, because he doesn't come from a amateur background. He doesn't have a big pedigree in boxing at all. You know, he's from white collar boxing. Over here it's called corporate boxing. He comes from that background, and he's made it to a world elite level now. And he's scheduled to fight Joseph Parker, one of the best fighters right now. So the guy has done amazing. Joseph Parker, I feel this is good for him to get in some rounds before he could potentially fight Usyk. What's interesting is that I think this could be a fight with a bout on the line. So Usyk, he has time to make up his mind if he's going to keep his WBO bout and then face whoever the winner is between Joseph Parker and Fabio Wardley, or he could relinquish the bout, elevating Joseph Parker to champion, and then that fight turns into a world championship fight between Joseph Parker and Fabio Wardley. That'll be interesting to see. I think that might actually happen. Like, I personally think that's going to happen. Only because maybe Usyk's trying to go for the 4 times undisputed, 3-time undisputed heavyweight champion. That'd be pretty cool. Talking about the fight itself, as I said before, as we saw Fabio Wardley's last fight against Justice Honey, he didn't really impress. The only thing that was impressive was his power. So he carries that Deontay-like type power, right? And do you know who's beaten Deontay Wilder? Joseph Parker. So Joseph Parker knows what it's like to be in there with a big puncher, a devastating puncher. Personally, what I feel about this fight, I feel this is going to be a good fight. I feel this is going to be a good showing for Joseph Parker. I feel that Joseph Parker is going to come out victorious for sure. I just think it'll be a pretty good fight to watch. This is, in my opinion, this is a good tester and a good fight to have before you have a fight against Usyk. Parker, very, very fast hands, good chin, decent power, and very, very well experienced. Very, very well experienced. I mean, he's coming close to 40 professional fights. And yeah, Fabio Wardley carries great power, good explosiveness, good speed. His defense will be the main points in this fight, I think. If Joseph Parker can find himself in the front foot a lot, then I see him winning possibly early. Although Fabio Wardley is a very, very tough man. Very, very tough. Even from, I mean, we saw that in the Justice 20 fight. A lot of people would have given up during that fight, right? Nothing was going his way. He could have easily given up. But he didn't. He toughed it out, and then he eventually caught Justice 20 knocking him down and the ref waving it off. I believe the first few rounds is probably the biggest factor of this fight. I think if Joseph Parker can find himself in a good position to push Fabio Wardley back, as we've seen him against Justice 20, Fabio Wardley is not very, very good on the ropes, like at all, right? He gets pushed on the ropes and his defense isn't great at all. He struggles blocking, was it the left hook? So Justice 20 was finding that left hook all night. Fabio Wardley tends to carry that like right hand down here, even when he's up against the rope. So I think the left hook, which is the punch for Joseph Parker, I mean, he throws that well. If he can push Fabio Wardley back onto the ropes and just work him from there, I think it'll be a good night for Joseph Parker, and possibly good night for Fabio Wardley. But if he doesn't, I think we have a good fight on our hands. If it's more of a back and forth, there's potential for Joseph Parker to get caught from Fabio Wardley. I don't see Fabio Wardley knocking him out. I don't see Fabio Wardley knocking Joseph Parker out. I think Joseph Parker's a bit too tough, and he's very good defensively. I mean, he's been knocked down a couple times, and those are from big punches. You know what I mean? You got the likes of Zhilei Zhang, a very, very big puncher, but that was more because of his timing and his skill set, you know what I mean? Zhilei Zhang being a big man, but he's very, very skilled. He's a very skilled southpaw. I don't see Fabio Wardley being that skilled. He's not as skilled as Zhilei Zhang. I don't think he's going to catch Joseph Parker like Zhilei Zhang did. So I don't see Fabio Wardley catching Joseph Parker, although I can see them possibly throwing at the same time and maybe Parker getting caught that way. I can either see Parker dominating the fight or a very good back and forth between Joseph Parker and Fabio Wardley. But with Joseph Parker, he's good at stealing rounds. He's good at keeping busy, doing the small things right, and filling in space with jabs and some type of action. The fight that he had with Zhilei Zhang was a great example of that. And also the fight that he had with Andy Ruiz was a great example for that. Joseph Parker, Andy Ruiz, and Zhilei Zhang, they both kind of exchanged at the same rate. But when there wasn't action going on, Joseph Parker will fill in those gaps with jabs or with feints or with just a bit of movement and stuff, you know what I mean? He would just keep things busy that way, and that's how he would steal those rounds. Someone like Fabio Wardley, he explodes a lot. And then when you explode, you need time to rest. And I feel Joseph Parker will just fill in those spaces with his jabs and just, you know, snatching things here and there. Head, body, head, 1-2s. Some people call it picking up the crumbs, you know, just taking what you can. Taking what you can. I feel that that's how Joseph Parker will win if he wins unanimously. If he finds his rhythm early on and starts to push Fabio Wardley back, it'll be Joseph Parker by stoppage. Anyways, that's how I see this fight. I'm sorry for the audio. I know it's not the best. I'll try and look for my microphone. Anyways, that's me, Junior Fire, ex-professional boxer. See you guys next time.